Advancements in medical technology continue to help improve all of our lives. And today we're focusing at the forefront of wound healing, dramatic new ways to improve long-term recovery. And joining me is Dr. Mark Robbins, an emergency care provider and specialist in wound and hyperbaric medicine from Salt Lake City, Utah, and Marty Smithson, a college student with his amazing survival story. I just want to welcome you both. Thank you for being here. And Marty, I want to get right to you.
All right.
This is a pretty amazing story. You and some buddies thought you'd just take a little hike in January in the Utah mountains and just take me from there. What happened?
It was a crazy day. So it was just a warm day, so I wasn't really dressed for snow hiking at all.
Right.
And we went up and it just kind of we got stuck in a bad situation, and we eventually got to this sign and it said it was like 3.5 miles to keep going forward down the snowy trail. The snow just got so cold I couldn't feel my feet. It was ridiculous. My shins got so scraped up just from trudging through the snow. And actually, we found this fire, this couple was camping a mile from the end. They let me go and warm up my feet.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Where's your left shoe?" And I didn't even realize it, but I lost my shoe 2 miles before that. And my feet were so cold.
You're walking through the snow without a shoe. You probably started out down below near BYU in 60-degree weather.
Yep.
How cold is it now?
It was like 20 degrees.
So they let you warm up by the fire. You continued walking, though, right down to the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, they tried to carry me at first because my left foot was really bad. My right foot, for some reason, they had one extra clean sock, so I was able to help my right foot, but my left foot was still in pretty bad shape. So they tried to carry me, and that just wasn't working. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna have to tough through this, put my frozen foot back in my frozen shoe.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
finish the hike, get to a car. We called a friend because we finally got cell service.
Doctor, I have to turn to you. I mean, when you saw him, and you made that, initial assessment of him, did you think he could have a full recovery? Or what were your thoughts when you saw him?
The thing he forgot to tell you here is he was wearing shorts and tennis shoes in this weather.
My gosh.
So what we saw were two distinctly different type of wounds. The first one was the frostbite of his toes and the bottom of his foot, but the more dramatic appearance was the front of his shins.
Right.
I mean, each step that he took, the ice crystals served as kind of a abrasive, like a sandpaper that just chewed up his legs. So by the time he saw me, he really had lost an entire layer of skin on the front of both of his shins.
Now, there's a new product out here called DermaPure. Is that how this comes into play with Marty? I mean, you knew about this product and you said he needs this.
Well, the center portion of each shin was so deep it was down to muscle tissue. So basically we needed to have something to cover it with, and the options were skin grafts or this new product that we had heard about, so we gave this a try.
And you're going to tell me it worked, right?
It worked great. He grew new skin over the area and had a remarkable recovery on that.
Doctor, was DermaPure initially created for diabetes patients who sometimes lose, a toe or have problems with skin ulcers?
Well, let me tell you about diabetics. They are fast becoming the probably the most common disorder in America today, and it involves loss of circulation. And the area affected the most is the feet, ankles and feet below. So quite often, in fact, about 20% of these are going to lose enough circulation in their feet that they develop spontaneous ulcers or wounds in the feet that just don't heal. And eventually, if they're not treated aggressively or recognized right off the bat, they may progress to amputations, frequently do. So some of the newest products in wound care today involve what we call skin substitutes, or developing skin substitutes so that we don't have to use the traditional skin grafts. So the developments come mostly from that side of the market.
Got it.
But we can use it on just about any situation where we'd need to use a skin graft.
So doctor, tell me how DermaPure works.
It's actually a donated skin tissue from the makers of DermaPure. Tissue Regenix has developed a technique to remove the parts of the cells that will create an allergic reaction to the host, and leaves us with just the matrix, or the substances of the cell that are most important for wound healing, such as the collagen, and it creates basically a scaffold that allows the new tissue, the regenerating tissue, to cross over and regenerate within that substance.
And when we come back, we'll hear more about Marty's story and how modern medicine and great doctors are truly working miracles. Stay with us. We're back and we're speaking with Dr. Mark Robbins, specialist in wound and hyperbaric medicine from Salt Lake City, Utah, and Marty Smithson, a frostbite survivor. And Marty, after this whole incident, did you ever think, knowing how badly damaged your feet and your shins were, that a product like DermaPure and meeting this doctor could help you to a full recovery?
That was pretty crazy. There was like a big hole in my shins. They're all red. I couldn't feel my left foot at all.
And you told me during the break that the people following you could only find you by your bloody trail in the snow. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, I had to keep pushing down that mountain because if I wouldn't have, something worse could have happened.
Absolutely. And doctor, when you saw him, I mean, did you really think that you could, using a product like DermaPure, actually bring him to a full recovery?
Well, it is a tissue product. It is skin tissue. I had several experiences with it that were very positive at the time. So yeah, we thought this would be a very good trial for.
Well, doctor, any closing thoughts just about, I mean, this product is for patients with diabetes, it's for adventurers. Just closing thoughts on this.
Well, adventurers, I'd recommend being well prepared for the elements at all times, even if it's a nice warm day. But that kind of goes without being said, and I think Marty could attest to that too.
Yeah, for sure.
For diabetics, I think the most important thing we can recommend here is daily foot care, daily foot checks. Even a small callus that looks like it's developing, go see your physician, because the earlier we can treat these, the better successes we have.
Well, thank you both for being in the studio today. Amazing story, I mean, and a happy ending, thankfully.
Yeah.
All right, and if you'd like additional information on this segment or other issues related to diabetes and wound care, visit us at thebalancingact.com or go hypersocial, log on to Facebook /The Balancing Act fan.